Alright, today's topic is about solving and graphing inequalities. Now when we talk about inequalities, they're kind of like solving equations, but instead of using equal signs, we're using the less than and greater two signs. So if you remember, we have our four symbols. We have our less than, so less than, we have our greater than, and then we have our less than or equal to with a little line underneath there. So less, equal, and then we have our greater than and equal. So great, equal. Okay. So when we talk about putting these on a number line, remember there's a few things you have to remember, and the main thing is we have to remember is whether our circle on the number in question is open or closed. Okay. So if there, I'll erase this for a sec. So I'll write this at the top. So if we have a symbol where it's just the less than or the greater than sign, okay, our circle is going to be an open circle on the number line. Okay. If we have a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, our circle is going to be closed. So the big thing to remember is that, like, if there's a line underneath the symbol, it's closed. If there's no line, it's open. Okay. So what does this look like? Well, let's do a little example here. So let's say I have x is greater than 3, okay, and I want to graph this on the number line. So I have a little number line here, I draw it, and when you draw these, you don't have to be super crazy about it, right? You can just pick a couple of numbers to put on there where it's in your number range here. So let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So our number is at 3, okay, so we find 3 on the number line, here it is. So we look at our symbol has no line. So no line underneath it means it's going to be an open circle. So when we do this, we're going to draw an open circle on our number line here. And then we look to see which way we need to draw our arrow. Are we going to go left or right, or are we going to go left? And the main way we look at that is, you can tell that, is if you look at the way the symbol is facing, right? This is a greater than symbol, okay? So if it's greater than, you have to go everything bigger than 3, right? So we have to go to the right. Another way you can think of this is if you, because I know a lot of people get their symbols confused of which one's less than, which one's greater than, okay? Look to see which way your symbol is pointing, okay? Now when your letter comes first, okay, so when your variable comes first, you can follow the point on your symbol. So the symbol here, the point is pointing to the right. Looks like a little arrow, right, to the right. So because our letter is first, we follow the symbol, and our arrow is going to go to the right. So what this means is that the answer to this inequality is every number that's bigger than 3, which makes sense because all this arrow covers is 4. 4 is bigger than 3, right, and so on and so forth. Okay, so when your letter is first, look at the way the symbol is pointing. Okay, the point, follow the point as an arrow. Okay, and that's how we do these simple graphs. Let's do another example here. Okay. Let's do x is less than 4. Okay, so once again, draw a little number line. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we find 4. We look at the symbol. There's no line underneath it, so we're going to open circle on 4. Our letter is first. Okay, so because our letter is first, we're going to follow the point of the symbol. The point is pointing left, so our arrow is going to go left. Okay, so simple as that. Now, what happens if our number is first? Well, let's say, just for a quick example, let's do that same one. Okay, so let's switch it up. Okay, so let's look at that. All right, and we'll do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what if our number is first? Well, we still do the symbol first. Our symbol is a greater than symbol here. There's no line, so we draw a circle on 4. Okay. Now, because our number is first, okay, now our number is first, we need to go the opposite way that the symbol is pointing. So, because our symbol is pointing to the right here, our number is first. We need to go the opposite way and go left. Okay. So what I did was this is the same thing as this. Right, this is the two same questions because look, the point both times is pointing towards the x, right? So it's the same thing because it's pointing towards the x. So it doesn't matter which way it is. This line is always going to go left. Okay? So if your letter is first, follow the point. Okay? Follow the point left. If your number is first, do the opposite of the point. This is pointing right, so because the number is first, we need to do the opposite and go left. Okay? Let's say we have x is greater than or equal to 6. So we'll go ahead, number line, let's do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So we find 6. Look at our symbol, there's a line underneath it, so we do have a closed circle on 6. Okay? Our letter is first. So letter is first, we follow the point. The point is pointing to the right, so our arrow goes to the right. Okay? Pretty simple, right? X is less than or equal to -2. Okay? So once again, draw a line. Let's go -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. Okay? So we find -2, line underneath it, closed circle, letter is first, so it means we follow the point. It's pointing to the left, so we go left. Okay? The negative doesn't mean anything on this. It just means it's a -2. Okay? That's what all it means. So you don't have to. So whether it's a positive or negative does not matter in terms of you go left or right. It's all just that's just the numbers, -2. So follow the point. Points left, letters first, goes left. Okay? I'll do one more example here. Let's say your variable is negative. Okay? So what happens then? Well, we know we can't have a negative in front of the variable. So we need to change that. And the easiest way we can change it is just by flipping everything, okay? So what I mean by that is if our letter is negative, okay, we need to turn it into a positive. So we can go ahead and turn it into a positive x. Okay? When we do that, our symbol in the middle has to flip to the other way. Okay, so we're just flipping it to the other direction. And then because our negative left our x, it has to go somewhere, so we're going to put it with the 5 in this scenario. Okay? So if your letter is negative, flip it, put it with the number, and then flip the symbol to point the opposite direction. Okay? And the same goes as if you have the number first. Let's say we have a -6, and we had this, and then we had a -x, right? So same type of deal. Your letter is negative, okay, which means it needs to be a positive. Our symbol gets flipped from this way to this way, and then our 6 here, because it's negative, it flips it, it becomes a positive. Okay, so our negative goes away here, our negative goes away here, our symbol flips here. Okay, so those are the simple rules for graphing inequalities.